Mediterranee by Molinard, a truly Mediterranean fragrance, coming up. Hello YouTube, hello dear Fragmatics, welcome to another video. Today we take a look at Mediterranee by Molinard. Mediterranee is a floral aquatic fragrance classified as unisex, launched in 2020. This is part of the collection La Fraicheur, meaning the freshness, launched by Molinard. You get this steady, minimalistic looking box with this shiny reddish copper looking accents hard pressed into the box. On the top you have the logo of the house, and on the bottom you have the batch number. I hope you can see because it's really difficult to read. And on the back you have the ingredients and a few words from Célia Le Rouge Bénard, saying exquisite materials are the secret to the finest fragrances. And I completely agree with her. And a few emotions before revealing it. This is the bottle. As you can see, this is a translucent bottle. You still have this lavender looking color on the base, but on the top of the bottle it's completely translucent. And on the back you have these twigs. I think they are sage twigs by the shape. And on the bottom you have the concentration and again the batch number, which is again hard to read. And this is a 75 mils or 2.5 ounces bottle. The cap, I must tell you, it's quite steady. It doesn't click into place, but it has a good grip on the bottle, and you can pick the fragrance by the cap. It will forever stay there. The cap is metallic, it's heavy, it's good quality, and on the top you have the logo of the house. Now let's take a look at the atomizer, which doesn't feel as high quality and as steady as the cap feels. Has a little bit of a space to play around, but doesn't matter. Let's see how it sprays. Let me position myself so you can see. Well, it sprays a good load, sprays quite far away, and a good mist. So even though it doesn't feel so high quality as the cap feels, it sprays a good load. The main accords are fresh, green notes, herbaceous, ozonic notes, white flowers, musky, sugar, warm spices, powdery, and woody notes. On the top you have calone or calone. I really don't know how to pronounce this chemical. The thing is that this is a chemical that mimics the sea breeze smell with a slight floral and fruity overtone. After you have green notes and tiare flower or tiare flower. On the middle you have sage, roses, and cistus, better known in the fragrance community as labdanum. And on the base you have helichrysum, a wild flower you can find all around here in the south of France. We call it immortelle, meaning the immortal flower. After you have white musk, cashmere wood, and sandalwood. Mediterranee by Molinard, it's inspired by the sunny lands around the Mediterranean Sea. It's a trip, a scent journey, trying to catch all the flavors coming from the sea to the land. Imagine yourself being on a boat on the Mediterranean Sea, and you arrive in the southern France, better known as French Riviera. You get to experience all the textures, all the transitions from the scent of the sea to the flavors of the land. It takes the green floral notes of the land and plunges them into the seawater, creating a smooth, fresh, bright infusion on a subtle woody base. When you first spray it, you get a blast of alcohol, a sharp green blast of alcohol. But it cools down after 10 to 15 seconds. Just let it there. If you try to smell it right after you apply it, like I did when I was trying this fragrance prior to this video, you will go nose blind for a couple of minutes, and it will make you think that the fragrance, it's not there. To make it more clear, it will make you think that the fragrance smells like nothing, like literally nothing. There is nothing there. Don't worry, leave it for at least 1 minute, and after you can sniff it. After the first contact with the fragrance, which is a little bit of a mess in my opinion, the alcohol goes away and the fragrance wakes up. You start to detect the florals and the sweet sea breeze note, which has a watery, sweet sensation tied to it. If I describe it, I can say that it's a wet sweetness. Also, in the end, you get some salt, I think. Something that relates to the sensation you get when you put salt on your tongue. Tiare or tiare flower starts a dance with the sea breeze note, and sometimes you feel like you are getting more of a floral scent and sometimes more like of a sea breeze scent. It's a continuous dance. All of that on a subtle green herbaceous background. It's aquatic, but it's not over aquatic, let's say something like Invictus Aqua. It has a different sea breeze inside. It has a stylized sea breeze, something without the fishy note. Tiare flower also gives you sweetness, creating that mouth-watering sensation, but not in a gourmand way. A non-eatable, creamy sweetness, slight powdery, mixed with a herbaceous note, I think coming from the sage. In the background, quite far for the moment, you have a big support from all the other notes. You have labdanum, you have helichrysum, you have sandalwood and white musk. One thing I notice is that the fragrance opens with all the notes in the same time. It's like throwing everything on the table. And over the time you start to lose some of the notes or they switch places. When you get to the middle, first of all, you start to lose the sea breeze note. Second of all, you start to lose some of the direct sweetness, the in-your-face sweetness you get in the opening. The wet sweetness dries up and goes more creamy and powdery. You start to feel more of the labdanum, the warm ambery smell, taking the place, completely removing the sweet mouth-watering note. The herbaceous note, the green plant smell coming from the sage, it's prominent in the opening and the first half of the heart of the fragrance. But after, it comes down in a more rounded green, if I can say like that. It doesn't feel as aggressive and as powerful. You start to detect more of the helichrysum, a spicy floral mixed with the sandalwood. Also in the same time, you start to see hints of the white musk, which at first smells like the human skin. I don't know how to describe it better than that. And after switches to a more cotton-like note. When you get to the dry down, the sweet notes go into the background. But you still get the sage, the herbaceous notes. Not as powerful as before, but they don't lose as much terrain as the sweet notes. The powder tones down, leaving you with only the floral creaminess that mixes so well with the spicy floral smell from the helichrysum. It's a nice contrast between round and sharp. The sandalwood is more clear and easy to identify, with some hints from the cashmere woods showing time to time. I must add that the sandalwood, it's present from the opening until the end of the fragrance. Finally, in the far dry down, you are left with a creamy, slight metallic, slight sweet floral smell on a spicy wood base, this is the sandalwood, with hints from the cashmere wood, all enveloped in a warm ambery smell from the labdanum, with a little bit of a touch from the white musk, a clean touch from the white musk. And now, time for conclusions. To resume all the things I just said about Mediterranee by Molinard, I'll say it's not a bad fragrance, but in the same time it's not an amazing fragrance. At some points in the development of the fragrance, it will start to remind you of two other designer fragrances. It reminds you of Kenzo Homme, but not as potent, and also it reminds you of Kayali Only Amber. I need to make a disclaimer. Don't think that Mediterranee by Molinard it's a clone of those fragrances. No, it only brings memories. It's getting close enough to those fragrances, but it's doing his own Mediterranean business. You need to ignore the harsh opening because the alcohol, it's quite strong. And the funny thing, after the mixed feeling opening, you get that sensation that the fragrance smells like nothing, like completely nothing. It's a total silence there. There is nothing. You are completely nose blind. And after a few moments, the fragrance changes, and in a split of a second, you get all the notes from the top to the base attacking your nose. The evolution of the fragrance is like this. Alcohol bomb, nothing. All the notes serve to you in a split of a second, and then you start to lose some of them as you start to go far into the dry down. It's not a bad fragrance. It plays with your mind and gives you some interesting sensations. You have the sea breeze against the warm ambery feeling. You have the sweet florals with the spicy florals and woods. You have the mouth-watering sensation in a non-gourmand way. But still, it has that feeling of reminds me of something else. Let's speak performance, and I will give you the short answer directly. This is not a beast mode fragrance. You can get around 4 to 5 hours depending on the skin type and of course depending on the conditions. When it comes to projection, you can get arm length projection in the first hour. After the first hour, you get half of an arm for the second hour. And when you enter the third hour, it gets close to the skin and it stays like that until the end of the lifespan of the fragrance. When it comes to sillage, like the projection is below average, arm length sillage, and then it's a close to skin scent. Let's discuss when and where you can wear Mediterranee by Molinard. It's safe to wear in all seasons, but I think it's too weak for the really cold winter days and too ambery and sandalwoody, if I can say like that, for the really warm summer days. It's a perfect fit, in my opinion, for the spring and autumn. Time of the day, you can wear this in the daytime, in the nighttime, although I think it's a better fit for the nighttime. At least I feel it like that. Dress code, you can wear it everywhere except the gym. I don't feel it's appropriate as a sport fragrance. I think it's safe to wear as an office scent, a date scent, and a cuddling scent, but not a sport scent. When it comes to age, 18 years and older, no restrictions there, just go for it. Who can wear this? In my opinion, everyone. It's a balanced scent profile. It's a great unisex scent profile with a slight feminine side in the opening and the first half of the heart of the fragrance due to that sweet, creamy and powdery feel. And finally, the big question. Is Mediterranee by Molinard a safe blind buy? To answer this, I need to explain myself. First of all, as a general rule, Mediterranee by Molinard, it's a 100% safe blind buy. Still, I have a big asterisk here. The scent profile, it's quite weak. So if you are expecting a beast mode fragrance, it's not that. It doesn't feel synthetic at all, well, except the opening part. I mean, the fragrance feels quite natural. The scent profile, again, except the opening and the first half of the middle, the first half of the heart of the fragrance. So the scent profile, except those parts, reminds you of those two designer fragrances I mentioned before. It's a good fragrance if you like close to skin, warm, ambery perfumes with a twist. It has his own Mediterranean flavors incorporated in a base which is common to designer fragrances. Would I recommend to buy it before tasting it? No. You need to adjust your expectations, because for a 75ml bottle, it's quite expensive. At this time, at this moment, you can buy it for a price between 69 and 85 euros or dollars. So I think it's quite expensive to take the risk, and you need to test it before so you can play it safe. And that's all for today, dear Fragmatics. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you have something to say or to add, please give me your feedback in the comments. I want to take a moment to say a special thank you to all my current subscribers, and if you are new here and if it's your first time and you watch this video until the end, it means that I'm doing something good, something you like, something useful for you. So I will invite you to subscribe and join the family. To all of you, thank you for watching my videos, thank you for your support, thank you for your feedback, and thank you for being here every time I post a new video. Now, that's all for today. Until next time, take care, stay safe. Bye.